Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're getting into a really important topic, why your blood sugar might be stuck in the high zone, even when you feel like you're doing everything right. We're going to explore 4 really powerful supplements that go beyond the surface and tackle the deep cellular reasons this can happen. So, let me ask you, does this feel familiar? You are eating well, you're trying to stay active, but every time you check your numbers, they're just stubborn. They won't come down. Believe me, it is an incredibly common and, honestly, super frustrating place to be.
So what is going on here? Well, the idea we're exploring today is that these supplements are not some kind of magic fix. Instead, they work by targeting and repairing hidden damage happening at a cellular level, damage that can keep your blood sugar high no matter how disciplined you are with your lifestyle.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the stubborn sugar problem itself. Then we'll go through our 4 key players, one by one: berberine, alpha-lipoic acid, magnesium, and chromium. And we'll wrap it all up by talking about how you can take this info and turn it into a real, informed next step for your health. All right, first up is berberine. We're calling this one the metabolic switch activator for a very good reason. This is a compound that a lot of people start hearing about when they feel like they've hit a wall with their blood sugar. You can think of it as something that literally flips a switch inside your cells to get your metabolism working correctly again. You know, when your body isn't using its fuel efficiently, the signs can be kind of confusing. You might feel that sluggish, heavy fatigue right after a meal, or get hit with these sudden, intense waves of hunger. Maybe you've even noticed your fasting glucose numbers are slowly creeping up, even though your diet hasn't changed. These are all clues that your cells are having a hard time using the glucose that's available.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Just look at this data. Studies show an average drop of 1.2% in HbA1c. That's your 3-month blood sugar average. That kind of result is actually on par with many prescription drugs. And check this out, a 35% improvement in insulin resistance. What berberine is basically doing is telling your body, hey, start using the sugar that's already here instead of letting it hang around and cause problems.
Now, this is absolutely crucial: dosage and safety. A typical effective dose is around 1,500 milligrams a day, usually split into 3 doses before meals. But, and this is a big but, you have to start slow. Begin with maybe 500 milligrams a day for the first week, see how your body feels, and then you can gradually work your way up. Okay, let's move on to our second supplement, alpha-lipoic acid, or you'll just hear it called ALA. What's so special about ALA is that it's a universal antioxidant. That means it can work in both the watery parts and the fatty parts of your cells, which is pretty unique. This lets it fight damage everywhere and help those cells use glucose way more effectively. If you're low in ALA, it can show up in some really specific ways. A lot of it is nerve-related, things like a burning feeling or weakness in your legs. You might also notice that annoying blurry vision right after you eat, or these sharp energy crashes that come out of nowhere. Those are all signals that your cells are under attack from oxidative stress caused by high sugar. And this chart just shows what a powerful protector ALA really is. We're talking about a 25% reduction in nerve inflammation and a 27% drop in overall oxidative stress. It even helps reduce fat buildup in the liver. It's like a bodyguard for your vital organs, shielding them from the damage that excess sugar can cause. So you're probably thinking, can I just get this from my food? And that's a great question. But as you can see here, while healthy foods like spinach and broccoli do have some ALA, the amounts are absolutely tiny. Compare that to the therapeutic dose of 600 to 1,200 milligrams, well, you'd have to eat a mountain of spinach. This is one of those cases where diet alone really can't get you to the levels needed to see these kinds of results. All right, on to number 3, magnesium glycinate, which we're calling the cellular keymaster. Magnesium is just so important for hundreds of functions in our body, and yet it's one of the most common deficiencies out there, and most people have no idea they're low. And if you want a number that'll really make you pause, here it is. More than half, 56% of adults over 60 in the US don't get enough magnesium. And the signs can be really subtle, like fatigue or muscle cramps, so it's easy to just brush them off as part of getting older. I love this analogy because it makes it so clear. I want you to picture yourselves as having locked doors. Insulin is the key that's supposed to open that door and let the glucose in for energy. But magnesium is what actually allows the key to turn in the lock. If you don't have enough magnesium, insulin can knock all day long, but that door just isn't going to open. So when you get your magnesium levels back where they should be, you see this amazing ripple effect. It can directly help lower your HbA1c, it can calm down those tingling nerves, and it relaxes blood vessels to improve your circulation. And here's a bonus, it often helps you sleep better, and better sleep all by itself can improve your insulin sensitivity. It's a real foundational piece of this whole puzzle. And that brings us to our fourth and final supplement, chromium picolinate. So, if magnesium helps the key turn in the lock, you can think of chromium as the insulin signal booster. It's the mineral that makes insulin's message to the cell louder and clearer. A classic sign of chromium deficiency is those really intense, almost uncontrollable sugar cravings. You might also recognize that brain fog that sets in after you eat carbs. These are signs that insulin's signal is weak, and your body is basically screaming for a quick energy source because it's not getting the fuel it needs from your food. So why the picolinate part? Well, it all comes down to absorption. This specific form of chromium is absorbed almost 3 times better than the standard kind. That just means more of it actually gets to your cells to do its job, which is to make those insulin receptors stronger and more receptive. And just like with our other supplements, getting the dose right is everything. The effective range is usually between 200 and 1,000 micrograms, not milligrams, micrograms a day. It's always smart to start on the lower end of that range because taking too much can cause side effects like dizziness or mood changes and can even put some stress on your kidneys. Whew, okay, so we've just walked through 4 really potent supplements that work on a deep cellular level. Now comes the most important part. How do we take all this knowledge and turn it into real, meaningful action? So let's do a quick recap of your toolkit. You've got berberine to flip that metabolic switch. You have alpha-lipoic acid to act as a bodyguard for your cells. There's magnesium glycinate, the key master that unlocks your cells. And finally, chromium picolinate to boost insulin signal. See how each one has its own unique, really important job? And this all leads us to the final and most critical question. The goal here isn't to run out and buy all 4 of these things tomorrow. It's about using this information to have a smarter, more informed conversation. So, as you listened, did one of these sound like it might be addressing exactly what you've been experiencing? Pick that one. Talk about it with your doctor or healthcare provider. That is how you find the right path forward and finally start feeling the progress you've been working so hard for.